The next sponsor we'll hear from is Senator Golden on her bill, Senate Bill number 250, an act relating to domestic relations, adoption of children. Welcome, Senator Golden.
Thank you, Chair. So the bill that you have before you, Senate Bill 250, lowers the age that people would need to be in order to access their own original birth certificate for people who are adopted. It would lower the age to 18, and then going forward would create parity, so there would be no difference between people who are adopted and people who are not, and they would have the same access to their original birth certificate. It also, in the same way, would enable people to use that for further research in the way that you can access a birth certificate now. So if you don't, I'm going to, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to provide you a little bit more context to why this bill is in front of you. As some of you know, I'm an adoptive parent, and I have two sons, one of whom was born in Kansas and one is born in Rhode Island. And Kansas law says that adoption records were never closed. So my oldest son has always had access to his original birth certificate. But at the time that my youngest son was born in Rhode Island, he did not have access to his original birth certificate. On November 20th, 2004, at our adoption finalization hearing, Judge Fort told Jeff and I that we were, as he was entrusting us with our beautiful son, that we were, of course, as parents, to make decisions that would be at his best interest at heart. And that is really what brought me to this bill. Eventually, I met Kara Foley, who you will hear from tonight. Kara was adopted herself and was determined to make sure that we remove any stigma associated with adoption and stop treating people differently just because they are adopted. And the first thing that happens is that their birth certificates are separated from them. In 2011, I came to the State House to testify in support of a bill that would allow those who are adopted to access their birth certificates, because I wanted to make sure that my child and other children would have access to that original birth certificate and also always know that part of their identity. The result of that advocacy and legislation was changing the law so that people who were 25 and older could access their original birth certificate. And since then, over 1,500 people have used that law. And it was absolutely a step in the right direction. But the thing is that when we create this bifurcated system, there's two ways of going about accessing your birth certificates. We're doing so because we're still keeping the stigma and secrecy and shame of adoption alive. And as an adoptive parent, and as other adoptive parents and children and birth parents and social workers will tell you, that transparency and honesty are the most important foundations of adoption. Adoption of now is very, very different than it was 60, 70 years ago. So I'm very thankful that Senator Goodwin has partnered with me in introducing this legislation. The bill you have before you is supported by Adoption Rhode Island, as well as the 40 member organizations, the Rhode Island Coalition for Children and Families, by the Office of the Child Advocate, lawyers, social workers, birth parents, adoptive parents, and of course, people who are adopted. I know you have some of that testimony in your packets, and we'll hear some verbally tonight, and I hope you will listen to all of that and know how important this is for people's own sense of identity and self, and move forward with the bill. Thank you.
Senator Golden, thank you very much for your testimony and your personal story as well. I appreciate it. Do any committee members have any questions of Senator Golden at this time? We have been provided with written testimony, and we expect some verbal testimony as we go on through this evening. So thank you very much for your time, Senator Golden.
Thank you.